Welcome to Box Recaps. Today I'm going to explain the movie Assassins, released in the year 1995. The movie starts with a suited man walking into a fancy building and another man assembling his shooter gun. Then the man in the white suit is signing a check, and in the next scene is seen walking outside of the building with his guards. But the guards aren't of any help, because he is being watched like a hawk by someone, and that is the killer, as the man in the white suit walks out and you hear a gun sound. In the next scene you see two men, Robert and Mark, walking in the jungle. It's light rain and thunder, and the man is walking in the puddles. Mark tells him he wasn't scared when he first saw him, but now he laughs at his judgment. They're walking to a spot. Mark asks him what kind of shoes he will be wearing when someone comes to kill him, and asks Robert a price not to kill him. They stop at a place and Mark starts to cry because he doesn't want to die like that. So Robert hands him the gun and the man shoots himself. Robert Rath is known as the #1 paid assassin in the world. However, after killing Mark, who used to be an assassin, he's increasingly heavily considering retirement as he is tired of his job and its lifestyle. He also feels quite lonely since he lost his best friend and mentor, Nikolai Tashlinkov, who was murdered 15 years ago. Robert comes back to his house. He's devastated and sad. He disassembles his guns and looks out of the window. After a while, he logs into his computer and dials a number. And you see a question asking if the mark has been terminated on screen. Robert replies, yes, he is. The next you see, asking where you've been, Robert. Robert lies and says he's been sick. But the text says he doesn't believe him and is worried. Robert says he should be worried, but doesn't write that. He asks for the other contract file. Robert wants to quit, but he is so consumed by the work and money that he cannot quit this horrible job. And the next moment, the computer prints out the man's pictures. Who is the next target? On the computer, it is Rath, Robert's old friend, and he offers another contract, a mobster attending his brother's funerals. In the next scene, you see the target coming out of the car, and his security settles him into the wheelchair. There are many reporters on the scene, as the target is a huge man, and he is attending the funeral of his brother. Robert first joins the people attending the funeral and walks to the scene to see his target from close. Robert acts like his arm is broken, and he has all the bandages on his arm. Instead, it is the gun he hides from everyone at the funeral. When everyone is praying for the dead man, you see someone from the tree behind targeting the target. Robert is also pointing the gun at the man, but as he's about to shoot him down, the guy from behind kills the target first, but Robert doesn't realize what happened. However, after a few minutes, everyone panics, and Robert now sees the man on the cliff, and he runs after him. Robert sees the guy, shoots at him, and so do the police. Now the new killer is all alone, fighting everyone. Robert is angry because the man is his target, and he wants to kill him. But the police gather him first and tell him to surrender the gun, and so does the new killer, Bane, who does what the police say. He throws the gun away. Robert is looking at him from behind and thinks, what the hell is he doing? Bane lies down on the ground and surrenders himself to the police. The police take Bane into custody, but as they take him away, he turns around and sees Robert and says, nice to meet you. Robert is confused by his behavior. He runs to his car, takes off his fake bandage, and prepares to follow the police cars where they're taking Bane. Robert follows the car Bane is in, knowing that Robert is coming for him. In the next scene, you see how clever Bane is. He twists his hand and attacks the police officer driving the car, and suddenly the car flips and is on the ground. Bane is pretty clever. He kills the two police officers in his car, takes a shot at the other two, and changes his outfit to run away as soon as Robert reaches the scene. He sees the police are dead, and Bane has fled the scene. Robert then thinks of a plan. He hits a taxi, bribes the taxi driver, and takes his taxi. He gets a taxi call and he knows that it is Bane. Bane sits in the car and he tells him to take him to the airport. Bane realizes that the taxi isn't going to the airport. He shouts at Robert and tells him to do his job, and Robert stops at the complex near where children are playing and tells Bane to get out of the car. But as soon as Bane sees the car number, he realizes it is not the taxi driver, but Robert Rath. Bane knows that the taxi glass between is bulletproof, and Robert would shoot him if he leaves the car. Robert tells him he robbed his contract, which Bane deserves, and Bane, to save his life, points at the kids playing football and tells Robert to drive the taxi. Bane is a psychopath. He shoots at the taxi mirror and says stuff to make Robert angry. Rath gets the right call and immediately recognizes the killer from the cemetery. Because of the bulletproof glass, Rath cannot take him out yet. So Rath provokes an argument with his client, hoping he will leave the car and Rath can take him out then. But his plan backfires when the man sees his cab driver is not displaying any ID and realizes the driver is Rath. The man introduces himself as Miguel Bane, a fellow assassin and a competitive sociopath. Bane is a super fan of Rath, but still wants to kill him to officially become the #1 assassin. Rath decides to sit out and wait for the younger Bane to lose patience and make the first move, but Bane outsmarts him by aiming his rifle at an innocent child playing nearby, causing Rath to start driving. Bane tries to shoot Rath through the side window, but Rath drives him into a bus, causing Bane to lose his gun. As Rath stops the car to get out and shoot Bane, their shenanigans have attracted the cops' attention, and they are now being chased. Bane jumps out of the car, unnoticed by the cops, and escapes. Robert is a very smart man. He knows how to ditch the police. Now it is a race between him and the police, and Robert drives his car from under the tunnel and escapes. The next moment, you see Robert sitting in the cab as a passenger. Robert then sits in the hotel room and thinks about Bane, why he was talking about the mark, and how he knows him. As Rath inquires about Bane to his contractor, he feels he's being set up as a mark and should retire now. Robert then sets up his computer and logs in. And there it is. The contractor sends him another profile. Robert thinks it's fine to take up another offer. The contractor sends him 4 profiles of the man and tells him there's another job. His contractor offers him a new job that pays $2 million. Rath accepts the contract, thinking it will be his last job, and the money is good to retire. A job that will make him #1. He tells Robert to kill a woman. The job is to kill an unknown computer hacker with no known identity, but the logo of a cat's eyes. Yes, the cat eye logo is a woman. And the other 4 guys are Dutch buyers to whom they intend to sell and retrieve an encrypted computer disk. Robert takes the job and starts his investigation work. The hacker, who later calls herself Elektra, is a woman who has been living in complete anonymity for years and has no personal attachment other than her cat Pearl. She has also set up hidden cameras in all the other apartments of her building to keep an eye on everyone around her. Rath tracks the buyers from the airport to a Marriott hotel, where Elektra has set up the meeting. Rath then uses the hotel's computer system to try and locate the hacker. When he stumbles upon a room ordering coffee all morning and then a can of tuna fish, Rath deduces he has found who he's looking for based on Elektra's known logo. Elektra has set up cameras and an elaborate mechanism for remotely moving items between hotel rooms and uses it to make the exchange with the buyers. They pay her through her ventilation shaft system, and she connects remotely to their computer to transfer the disk content and decrypt it. In the meantime, Bane makes his way to the buyer's room and kills all of them, including people outside their room, who all turn out to be Interpol agents. He tries to lure Elektra into completing the transmission, but she immediately picks up on his accent and deletes everything she has transferred. She tries to escape her room, but Rath intercepts her. He then cannot kill her, so he spares her life and escapes. Elektra, unsure she can trust Robert, tries to escape him by running to a bus, but has to leave Pearl behind, which Robert retrieves and uses to track down Elektra's home by visiting her favorite pet store. Meanwhile, Bane finds pictures in Elektra's hotel room, which he uses to pin down her apartment building. Finding a car with the engine still hot, he heads for the wrong apartment and kills her neighbors while Elektra sees everything from her apartment. Rath arrives with Pearl and deals with Elektra to let her leave, but they meet later. He then gets in a shootout with Bane, which ends when Bane is blasted out of the apartment after Rath lit up the gas line. Rath takes Elektra to a motel to rest and think about their next move. Elektra grabs Robert's gun and threatens to kill him and disappear, but Robert shows no fear, confident she doesn't have what it takes to kill, which he's proven right. The two spend an awkward night, not in close quarters, with another human being for years. She sleeps on the bed while he sleeps on the floor with his gun at the ready. Robert offers Elektra half of his fee for the job if she will assist him in collecting his fee in exchange for the disc. Everything proceeds smoothly, but Rath quickly realizes the suitcase carrying his money also carries a bomb. He dumps the suitcase just in time to watch it explode from the rearview mirror. Lucky for them, Elektra didn't trust Robert entirely and had given him a fake disc. Now convinced his contractor is actively trying to kill him, Rath offers to surrender the disc in exchange for $20 million instead of the original $2 and requests it to be wired to a specific bank in the Caribbeans before he delivers the disc. The contractor agrees to Rath's conditions and then hires Bane to take a contract on him. Rath and Elektra travel to the bank the day before the transfer, where Rath identifies the decrepit, abandoned hotel that he knows Bane will use as a sniping post and plans a trap. He also reveals that the bank, the hotel, and the plan were all chosen specifically because of what both Rath and Bane know. 15 years ago, Rath stood in this hotel room all day to kill his best friend and mentor, Nikolai, after accepting to take a contract he has regretted ever since. That night, still shocked by Robert's revelation that he killed his own best friend and being fascinated by the Day of the Dead parade taking place, Elektra escapes their hotel room. However, she soon wishes she hadn't when she spots Miguel Bane at a beer stand. Lucky for her, he doesn't see her, and soon assumes the perfume he smells comes from actual jasmine flowers laid close by. She is also found by Rath, who takes her safely back to their room. The next day, Robert goes inside the bank to confirm the transfer, closes the account, and collects the money in cash, an operation that takes several hours to perform. Robert patiently waits inside, knowing Bane is in position outside, going crazier and crazier from the wait. Meanwhile, Elektra is sitting at a public cafe, watching Bane and waiting for him to leave his position and check on Robert to ensure he is still in the bank. When it finally happens, she runs into the abandoned hotel to retrieve Bane's rifle so he can't shoot Robert. However, Bane was smart and hid the rifle. She finally finds it, but it's out of reach, and she falls through the floor. She can get back on her feet, but it's too late. After confirming Rath is still in the bank, Bane is already returning to his position. As Rath exits the bank, Bane notices Rath taking out his earpiece, which tells him Rath is not alone. Then he recognizes Elektra's jasmine perfume in the air. Elektra uses Robert's pistol and shoots Bane in the back, which causes him to misfire. Robert runs to the hotel. Robert then faces Bane in a lethal game of hide-and-seek, which Bane loses when he is shot and falls through multiple floors. After Bane's apparent death, Nikolai appears, revealing that he was Robert's contractor and had set up his assassination 15 years ago so he could disappear. He wore a protective device that day, knowing exactly where Rath would shoot him. He also reveals that the disc contains information that would bring him out of the shadows should it ever be decrypted. So he wanted to kill Elektra and retrieve the disc before Interpol did. Understanding that Nikolai will kill him too, Bane revives and joins Rath in shooting him dead. Bane pretends to make peace with Rath and allow him to retire, but then reveals he still wants to kill Rath and become number one. He tries to shoot him in the back, but Elektra puts on her sunglasses, allowing Rath to see Bane. Rath shoots Bane through his jacket and kills him. Elektra then retrieves the money and the disc, and both leave the hotel, ready to enjoy their respective retirement and reveal to each other their real names. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on the notification and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.